welcome back to a brand new episode of an Earful podcast, and we have got a good one for you. I am joined here by the one and only Mayash. How are we doing, mate?
I'm good, yeah.
And who have we got on this episode?
So on this episode, we've got the guys from Dream State back on again. But this time it's with a new lineup. So we've got Jessie, the new vocalist on there, and we've also got Alid as well. And it was a great chat. We caught up with them at the show at the Deaf Institute in Manchester. So yeah, this is for the promotion as well for the new EP Untethered, which absolutely slaps. If you haven't already heard it,
go and check it out.
Yeah, so enjoy the episode, guys.
Enjoy.
Hi, guys. Welcome to an Earful podcast. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How's it going anyway? How's the tour going so far?
It's been really good. Turnout's been great. We've sold out 4 shows, I think, now. And I think tonight's pretty close to selling out as well. So it's been really overwhelming. The support's been great.
Yeah. Sorry, when was the last time you played in Manchester then?
Last time we played Manchester would have been the end of 2019, I think. And
wow, right.
Yeah, so a few years ago.
Yeah. So it's definitely like the comeback tour, essentially.
Yeah, and it was around this time, 4 years ago, I think we were playing the same venue. So it's pretty cool to be back here again.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, like we were saying to you, like the last time we played Deaf Institute was like with you guys. Yeah. So it's like a nice like full circle moment, like seeing like you guys again. So yeah, be cool to see the new material. So speaking of new material, then. Obviously, there's been a bit of change in the band since the last time we saw it. Just talk us through that process then, because obviously it's not like a small step. Like there's obviously lineup change, new music. So when did the process start happening to kind of like rebuild Dream State essentially?
I suppose, what year is it now? 2023? Oh, last year. 2020? I think it was end of 2021 where CJ and Reese had to, they left the band due to mental health. And then it was, before they left, actually, we had Tom was in the band working with us behind the scenes already on drums. So there was 4 of us, but it wasn't like public knowledge yet or anything like that. So then, Charlotte and Reese left the band, and then we were also in the process of auditioning Jake for bass as well.
Right.
So like the plan was to become a 5-piece again.
Yeah.
So the 3 of us that were left, then we were just like, let's just try it. Let's just continue, give it a go, see what happens. And then we found Jessie.
Hello.
Just completed the lineup, and here we are.
Let me talk about my interview process that you didn't ask for.
So was there an interview process?
It was not an interview. Like I'd auditioned that year. Really, this is like to me feels like fate, and I like to talk about it because I feel like that's how I think. Basically, at the start of last year, I auditioned for a band. It was like a death metal band, and it's been my dream to front like a really heavy band.
Okay.
My whole life. I didn't get it, and I think there was a number of reasons why, but I won't go into it now. And I didn't get it, and I got really upset. Like I genuinely was like, I put myself out there. I've gone for something that I was approached about, and it's really disheartening. So I did like this throwback on my Facebook with all of my like crowd surfing and just almost saying goodbye to music for me. So I was just like, goodbye, like thank you for the good times. And then literally 2 days later I got a message off Alid on Facebook being like, hey, like I don't know if you're interested, but I'm in a band called Dream State. We're looking for a vocalist who can sing and scream. You've been sort of presented to me. Here's some tracks, would you be interested? As soon as I pressed go on, like I think it was White Lies, I'd heard of that song, but not necessarily Dream State, but I'd heard of that track, and I was like, this could not have been more like a well-suited, like in my old bands, I've been the singer and the screamer. Yeah. It's got electronic, like Aurora had like electronic vibes. We played with like similar, like we had like either some really poppy bands, but then some really heavy bands. So it was very similar to Dream State. Yeah. And then as soon as I opened the email and heard the tracks, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go for this. And my husband basically was like, Jessie, I met you as a singer like 16 years ago. You have to go for this. Yeah. So I did, but rather than I think he just wanted like videos in my bedroom.
Just like vocal demos and
I think he just wanted on my phone, like me singing it. Yeah. I went to Oz at Hidden Track Studios because we go way back from like Feed the Rhino days. We're on the same label when I was in Aurora. And I like paid him full service like for 3 tracks. I did like all the ones he sent me. Then there's a studio in Birmingham called Uproar. Yeah. They let me use their stage. Their son Jack did the lights. My best friend Josh did the video. And I did like a White Lies live video, sent him everything. And I remember him being like, oh my God.
Really overboard.
He was like, that's a lot. When I tell you I wanted this, like, I was like, this is my last chance, really, like, for me to go for something. I've always, like, wanted to be on the platform that sort of Dream State were on, but never quite got the chance. So when he messaged me, like, 2 days after I thought everything was over, I've been out the scene 10 years. So, yeah, it just felt like everything happens for a reason. And the response, like, I can't echo enough. Like, it's been insane. As the new girl, I've been made to feel extremely welcome. And if anything, the compliments are, you know, it's going to be incredible. It's sort of 2.0.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's literally been like a tidal wave of like praise for like the new Dream State stuff. So like Daniel Picard is like always playing it, and every time he's playing, I'm like, yes, like, get it.
Thank you, Daniel, if you're listening. It's actually been a dream of mine to be on that show. So when I got that, he was like casual, like, oh, we're on Daniel Picard tonight. I'm like there losing my brain. Like 15-year-old me was like, that's like a dream to have been on. Like I've been on like Kerrang, but not like Radio 1, like. It's not quite the daytime yet, but it's itching closer. Like a month before we were on Alex's show, and then all of a sudden we're on Daniel's show, and I was like,
it's insane.
There was a step up there, and I was like, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, like genuinely. I'm gonna tell you, like buzzing. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's it. He's just so chill, and I'm just like still on genuinely like up here, like think this is like incredible.
So how did the writing process go for the new EP then? And also, was there a reason why you went for EP, or was it just literally just to put the taster out before you started doing more material?
Instead.
So I had a bunch of instrumentals because lockdown, there was nothing else to do, so just writing, wrote loads of songs, and then we just kind of like picked 3. Like the original plan was to just do singles and then like test the water, see. Yeah. But then like. We thought, let's just there was kind of like similar themes on the songs, so we just thought we'd package it as an EP, and it's only 3 tracks, but like a mini EP, and just release that instead.
He came to my house and we did the 3 tracks in one day. So when I tell you I've been writing, have never stopped writing, he came round, we had the instrumentals, and we were like, let's have a go on this. And I put melodies and lyrics across all 3 songs in a day. 2.5, let's be honest, 2.5, because the other half we built a bit after. But when I tell you that, I feel like this couldn't be well suited to have those sort of melodies and lyrics there. He plays his track and I go, hold on, let me try this, like taunt me. I was like, what do you think of this? And he literally was like, yes, carry on doing that. And then by like an hour, like taunt me was done, and then the next hour or 2 another track was done, and then we were starting to show people what we'd done on a weekend, and people were like, yeah, this is cool. And that's truthfully how it happened.
So how's the reception been to the EP then so far for you guys?
Yeah, it's been sick. I've been really overwhelmed with the response. It's been great. I couldn't have asked for anything better, really.
Yeah.
It could have gone so, like, honestly, like, we've had online hate because that is just what happens, but it could have been a complete different split. It could have been like 70 hate, 30 like, but genuinely it feels the complete opposite. And if anything, because I think I bring a heavier element to the band, we're actually getting a wave of like
New
my
fans
old, my old Aurora hardcore fans, and more sort of like hardcore beatdown fans, which I'm desperate to bring to the band. Just one track.
No. Maybe.
He tells me, like, in recording we don't do it, but then when it's live I'm just like, you can't stop me.
What are you gonna do?
Pull your XLR cable out.
One day he will. No.
Do it tonight now.
You've got to heavy it up sometimes, or what's live. You just, you know what I mean. Sometimes you just need to feel that, don't you?
Suit a little chug.
I remember the week of the release of the first track, I didn't sleep at all. I was just stressing, like thinking, oh god, are people gonna hate this or whatever. That's why we kind of released it out of nowhere, because like if we kind of announced, oh, we've got a new song, a new lineup, new song coming out Friday, I think a lot of people would have kind of made up their minds before actually hearing anything. So we thought, just release a song out of nowhere, and then people can hear it and then make their minds up.
I guess it's more cathartic in that sense though, because it's like literally like can't do anything about it. If it's just released, like it is what it is.
Exactly,
like there's nothing else you can do with that. So like you said, like just the response to it's been amazing though. Like
couldn't have asked for anything better, really.
No, absolutely not.
Looking forward to the festival season.
Yeah, like we're DIY, and for a band that is, they're just coming out of our ears. We're announcing one next week. Yeah, the one we talked about in the van.
Oh, that one.
Surprise for you.
I'll just honestly, I open my messenger and I'll have a message. Would you like to do this? this, and this, and I'm like, send it to the boys, and like I say, we're completely DIY, so all the booking, everything right now is through us. So to be on something like Trees and other things like we're on like
Teddy Rocks,
Burn It Down.
Yeah.
We're headlining Camden Underworld for Loomfest. Like all of these things with no manager, no booking agent. I think it's really exciting times personally. And I think we're all on the same page of where we want it to be. So it's exciting.
We love 2,000 Trees, don't we?
Oh, so good 2,000.
I can't wait.
My favourite festival.
Yeah, the atmosphere
so
there
good
is just next level,
I will cry. I will cry. I've been there like loads of times. I've always wanted to play.
Yeah.
So to have that opportunity finally, and with his talented writing, I will cry. You'll see me. I was like bawling, like thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause for us that was our like first thing at a festival as well.
Yeah, I did solo Outbreak Fest. Yeah. Which is just not designed for press, but awesome time, but not designed for it. So like 2,000 Trees was like the first like official like podcast we were doing at a festival, and we went there, we were like, oh my god.
So like obviously Download's amazing, don't get me wrong, but when you go to 2,000 Trees, it's also like tightly knit together.
It's
family.
It's like a really communal vibe. That
it is definitely
100%.
Yeah, and we bumped into Peak after that, and we were fanboys.
And we're trying to keep it cool as well. We're like, holy fuck, that's Daniel Peacock.
He got me this last summer. He got me a pass to come to Trees, so I went along just to like, because you were supposed to play it, but we didn't. Anyway, so I went to Trees, and I saw like Nova Twins, and the girl like one of the girls waved at me just because I think she was thinking the way I was probably looking at her. She was probably like, "That's a fan," and I was like, "I love you." And then Daniel Peacock like walked past me, and I literally I froze, and I was with my mate. He was like, breathe out, and I was like, like honestly, if I ever got to meet him, I'd be like, they'd have to take me up, because I'd be like, I love you.
What was the thing? Like, we were like, should we go sit over and say hi?
Yeah,
and he was like, what are you going to say to him? I actually don't know. Like, what would you say to him?
Because he was working at the time. I was like, we don't want to bother him while he's working. But then I remember going back into the press tent to get something, and I sort of like bumped into him by accident. Oh, sorry, mate. He was like, no worries. Came out the tent and went, just spoke to Peter. No big deal.
Then you bumped into him. You went, what?
Technically speaking to him, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But then, like, fate had it. I went to go. Have you heard of Him, the band Him?
Yeah.
So I went to watch this singer live in Helsinki back in January, and Peacock was good friends with like Vil, the singer. And I was just sat in this bar, and like out of nowhere, Dan Peacock just walks downstairs, and I'd already had a good few drinks back. And he wandered around down there, and I was like, "Fuck, should say something." Like, "Fucking, should say something." And I was like, "You know what? Fuck it." And he went to go up the stairs, and I just shouted, "Dan," as if I knew him. I was like, "Dan!" And he just turned around and came over, and you know what? He was the nicest guy ever. But
that's good. Thank God, it could have gone worse.
I had a bit of liquid confidence, otherwise I probably wouldn't have said anything. But it was crazy. But he's the nicest dude ever, so I can understand why he's like pushes a lot of new bands as well, and everything like that. It's awesome.
It's exciting.
I've completely blanked what we were about to say.
What were you going to say?
So, obviously, with EP in mind, being released now, is there a plan for an album now, or is it just test the waters with the new stuff first and then go back into writing at some point?
There's nothing solid set in stone yet. We're still writing. We're still writing. There's new stuff.
We have to wait and see.
Just wait and see. Yeah, nothing solid.
Nothing solid.
Yeah.
No.
Nice. We have a recurring segment on our podcast, which is usually we give you a heads up, but we completely forgot.
Brilliant.
We're a man down.
Yeah, we're a man down, and it's the first one of the year. So we ask every guest, what is your pet peeve? It can be as petty as you want it to be. It can be anything. It could be slow walkers. It could be people who bite the fork when they're eating or stuff like that.
I'll give you a bunch.
Go ahead. These are the best kinds. When they can go, like when they can list them, it's like the best ones.
Well, I mean, slow walkers. I mean, everyone hates slow walkers. You know, when you take the lid off the butter and you've got that little piece of paper.
Yes.
People just leave it there. Fucking put it in the bin.
Put
it in the bin.
I fold it back over the butter and then put
Why?
it on.
Why? Just take it off and put it in the bin.
Well, at least on the same
I'm
level.
on the same level.
I'm gonna take it. We should swap sides.
Yeah.
People leaving bags on seats when you want to sit
all
on
a
it.
personal attack now. And they're like, I'm sure I left the butter lid on your house. Now he's talking about my bags. I'm
not targeting these at you at all. This is just in general.
Really a passive aggressive the other day. I had my suitcase out in the changing room, like a green room, ready to play. And he was like, I hate when people just come on in and put all their stuff everywhere. And I was like, I'm trying to get ready for a show. This is personal. I'm taking it.
I promise it's not personal.
Okay, carry on with yours.
I can't remember.
Back to the butter.
Yeah.
Because you've got me starving. I just don't get the point of putting it back on. Like, what?
I know.
What's the point?
It's just laziness, isn't it?
It's just no, because it just starts flapping about and it gets little buttery bits on it, and then it's just kind of like this thing that's like just flopping on top of like the butter. Like,
No.
Nah. Like my other half does it and I open it and it'll be just there, this little flailing little like piece of paper.
It's frustrating, isn't it?
Yes.
Alright, so we're saying butter lids and people who leave shit all over the place.
Nah, people leave stuff on seats, when you want to sit on it.
Okay.
When you go in that bathroom, you'll see the seat I was sat next to. There's stuff on it. No, mine would be. I'm not going to make out like I'm some heavy, like some big gym buff or anything. I went for the first time with Tom this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but one thing when I used to go when I was younger, mainly because of my strength purposes, when I used to lift weights, my pet peeve, and I get really upset by it, is when, like, let's say like a huge guy has just been lifting,
Me?
and then
I'm a huge
yeah,
guy.
yeah, that's who I mean. That's who I mean.
Yeah.
When they leave their
I don't go to the gym. I can't even spell the gym.
God's sake, when they leave the weights on the rack. So, like, you
Yeah.
imagine me, like, back in the day, I was like 60 kg or something. I used to try and like take the weights off this huge bar, and then it would all be. It's a hazard
Yeah.
for one, and secondly, it's really heavy, and thirdly, I just think it's a bit selfish. So my pet peeve, one thing that has stuck with me, is people leaving weights on the bar.
Yeah.
Just put your stuff back.
Yeah.
Especially when there's like, I was only like tiny and I can't lift like 30 kg off a bar on both sides and then try and like, then I've done my workout.
Yeah, but I know what you mean about being scared. If you take the weight off one side,
It goes like-
I don't want that bar flipping in my face.
And then
especially
people
if
will be
it's
like tutting at me because I'm taking so long. I'm like, and then the hench guy will be like, excuse me, sir, you've left your things. And he'll be like, shut up. And I'll be like, okay. So then I just go away from the bar rack.
Yeah. My gripe with gyms is where you'll get like a group of lads go in and like they're all sat around like in their own communal area in like the weights area, but they'll take loads of like dumbbells. Oh, sorry. It's alright. And then they'll use them, or they won't even be using them yet, and they'll just leave them on the floor in like a little circle, and like, but no one will be using them, like, and they'll just leave them there,
Yeah,
and like half the fucking rack of weights is empty, and they're just all there on the floor, and you can't go over like, excuse me, can I have that one?
Yeah, trust me, I feel that. And maybe like another one, I'm trying to think. It's a really good question, and my brain's like frazzled from just. I go to bed at 9:30, and all week I've been going to bed between like 1 and half 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So I'm like spangled. Haven't drank or anything this week, but I feel like I'm hungover every day. So I can't answer anymore. But I think the gym one is my answer.
That's
For this one.
that's a new one as well. Yeah, we're not at the butt one as well either.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Surprised.
You've unleashed something from me too.
Rage. Tonight when Alan set his tab, like mentally, he's thinking of the butter.
Yeah. It's just like, it's the butter that's arranging him for this set.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for coming on, and we're looking forward to the show
Thanks
tonight.
for having
anyway.
us.
Thank
See
you.
you at
Thanks,
Trees.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so that was another episode of an Earful podcast with Jesse and Alid from Dream State. A massive shout out to those guys for coming on and taking the time to speak to us. Once again, a massive shout out to Matt and the guys at Good as Gold PR for setting up the chat in the first place. And I can't wait for new Dream State stuff. I'm really looking forward to what to do next now, and hopefully catching up with them in the future festivals this year.
Yeah, man, definitely. So if you haven't already, go check us out on socials. You know where everything is, the standard Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that sort of stuff. At an Earful podcast. We'll just be uploading more content on there soon, but it's a good way to just keep on top of our new episode releases and what we're up to as well when we're going doing an episode and behind the scenes stuff and all that juicy stuff. So.
There is over 4 years worth of episodes that you can now check out. So make sure you check through previous episodes and see if there's any of your favourite artists on there. We've had some great chats over the years anyway.
Definitely, yeah. There's a lot to catch up on there.
Yeah, just a bit.
Anyway, thanks for joining us for this episode, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you next time.